Puddles. It's Mrs. Cruz. I miss you all so much. I hope that you are all safe, happy, and healthy at home. Today I'm going to read you a story that has to do with the season that we are in, which is spring. And this book is called Puddles. And it's by Jonathan London. Pictures by G. Brian Caras. What do we call the person that makes the pictures, that creates them? The illustrator. First and second graders got to be authors and illustrators when they each made a class book. So they are authors and illustrators, which means they each wrote a page and they each colored and drew and designed a page in the book. Puddles. All night the splash of rain and the flash of lightning and the kaboom of thunder rattling the house and all the windows. We cuddle between fright and glee, and want it to stop, and never stop. In the morning it does, like a curtain rising on a shiny new day, a day of brightness and blue, a sky wiped clean of the last cloud. We walk outside to the sweet chatter of birds, filling the trees, and breathe deep the clear air. Watch out for puddles, Mama hollers. Don't get wet. So you can see this child has put on some gear to go out in the wet spring weather. Some of you might have a pair of these. They're called rain boots, and they are really perfect for the springtime because they keep your feet and your socks nice and dry. Needles glisten, listen, the drip, drip, drip from the eaves and the leaves. Look, the sparkle of a million suns and a million drops. Can you see the water sitting up in the trees? Just little droplets of water. Sometimes when we see those droplets out in the grass, especially in the morning time, we call that dew. There'll be dew sitting on the grass. We follow baby rivers, trickling and snaking down ditches into fields. Lots of springtime things going on in this picture. You'll see some things growing that appear in the springtime. I'll let you think for a minute and look around and see what things do you see growing that grow in the springtime. There's some flowers, grass, of course, and some of you might even go hunting for these in the springtime. Mushrooms. Some people go hunting for morel mushrooms. They're one of my favorites. And I also noticed that the illustrator did a really good job of making the grass look realistic by putting different lines of color here. So they didn't color it all just plain green. They put some streaks of, it looks almost yellow. Doesn't that look realistic? They also made another thing look very realistic on this page. How about the water? To make it look like the water was flowing, they added another color to their blue paint. What other color do you see in the water besides blue? White. White really makes it look like it has motion, like it's really moving. Puddles. Big ones, little ones, long ones, skinny ones. Pieces of sky on the ground. It's time to puddle jump. Splash, splash, splash. What do you notice about these puddles? Are all of them just full of blue and white water? Or do you see something else in the puddles? How about right here? Do you think there's really a roof in that puddle? Do you think it could be the reflection? Or another reflection of the sun? Mud sucks at our boots. Slop, slop, slop. We kneel and watch worms squirm and stretch and leave tiny trails in the muck like sloppy writing. They're learning the ABCs of weather, of rain and sun and mud. Kindergartners have had a lot of practice with making this kind of line when we worked in our small groups to make posters. This is a loopy line. What other kinds of lines do you see? Straight lines. There's some diagonal. And how about these if we look closer? Kindergartners also made this shape a swirl. Then we slog down through the wet grass towards the pond and what lives there, celebrating all the new water and new life. What do you think these white spots could be that are kind of floating around in the grass? Why do you think the illustrator put them there? I'm not sure, but I thought maybe they were parts of dandelions that were floating away in the wind. Look at also how the illustrator made all these lines in the grass to make it look really realistic. Very cool. That's some tall grass. At the pond, it's time for the frogs to play. And we want to play with them. Leap, frog, leap. Leap, frog, leap. Hop, flop, plop. See how the author, or the illustrator here, did something with the water again. They added another color to it to make it look like it was actually moving, like it was splashing up in the air. That's why they added the light blue and the white. Birds flap from the trees, and we think the trees are applauding. What do you think applauding means? Applauding means to clap. We bow, then say, "Bye, frogs," and turn towards home. What reflections do you see in this picture? What is reflecting in the water? Puddles, big ones, little ones, long ones, skinny ones. Pieces of sky on the ground. It's time to puddle jump again. We can hit every puddle, from the pond to the meadow. Splash, splash, splash. We slog through the wet grass and suck mud with our boots. Slup, slup, slup. Skip beneath leaves and eaves. Drip, drip, drip. I see here the artist did a really good job of adding detail in the grass. There's definitely lines and streaks of green and streaks of yellow. The yellow almost makes it look like the sunlight is shining on it, like it's a bright spring day. In the drip and drip in the doorway shouting, "We're home!" "You're wet," Mama howls. What do you think they should do before they come inside? Probably take their wet clothes off and hang them up. On a morning after rain, it's time to soak in a hot bath. Wiggle dry in a warm towel. Get dressed and drink hot chocolate. Then run outside again. Looks like they had their rain gear kind of cleaned off from the mud. And it also dried because now the boots are nice and clean again. Head outside to puddle jump, splash, splash, splash.